Confidence sells more than strategy, and here's how I proved it. I'm making a course on how to sell quail, and for research, I went to a local fruit market to ask the owner what she would expect if somebody came in and wanted to sell her quail. She was very helpful on what all would be needed if someone came in to approach her to sell any sort of product, but she was less than enthused about the quail, and she made it pretty obvious. A friend of hers had tried to sell at her store before, and because they were asking $5 a dozen, nobody was willing to buy tiny eggs for that much money. So while she made it clear that it was really important to do your research on market value of what you could sell it in the area, she also was kind of making it clear that not everyone would want to buy quail eggs, and it was almost as though she was telling me my project was a little useless. I don't think she meant anything bad by it. I think she was just trying to give a personal opinion. But when she went into why nobody would buy the quail eggs, I couldn't help but to step in and correct her. Quail eggs can be sold, and it can be easy to sell if you know what you're doing, if you're confident, if you know your product. While yes, quail eggs are more of a niche commodity and only bougie people tend to like to buy them, unless of course you're raising them in your backyard, it's far cheaper. What she was really missing out on was that there has to be a specific target in mind when you're selling quail eggs. Like I said, not everybody wants to pay $5, $6, $7 a dozen for tiny eggs. But there are people. So either you have to market to people who are willing to pay the higher prices due to their health benefits. You could do a little sneaky way too. Let's be honest, people love to pamper their pets. And when I started giving her ways to sell it to pet owners and pet stores, you could see her face lighting up. And then when I started talking about the benefits of quail eggs for pets, she was sold. She wanted to immediately know if I could sell her quail eggs. And she was also interested in putting them in her store if I created a flyer that highlighted everything I had just told her. She also said she knew a friend that would probably want quail eggs. So while I went in to ask questions just for research, and I honestly don't even have the product to sell at the moment because I sent my entire flock to freezer camp and started new, I was offered a wholesale deal. She wanted to buy my eggs, and she wanted to recommend my eggs to friends. One thing people do not take into consideration when they're trying to sell a product is word of mouth. And if you can get your first customer confident in you and your product, they will spread the news. And people will come to you instead of you always having to go out and look for your clients. Because I sell with confidence, I make sales all the time, and I don't even promote my stuff very often. I'm a content creator, so I chose to shut down all my physical product sales. But because people hear me talking about quail and my passion for it and my understanding, they're like, oh wow, I want to try quail. Do you sell quail? Oh wow, do you sell hatching eggs? I would love to try that. Oh wow, that's the health benefits. Do you sell eating eggs? I also sell chicken eggs, and because they are such high quality, the store owner is actually asking me for my quail eggs when they're available. She also contacted me because people came into her store asking her if she knew people who sold rabbit meat, duck meat, goose meat. She knew that I already provided a quality product and was willing to take my advice on people who may be selling it. And when I said that I actually had rabbit meat, again, another sale. I realized while editing that I didn't make myself very clear. The woman I sell chicken eggs to is another store owner. I had another local store asking me for my quail eggs when I didn't even try to sell them. Sometimes it's not even necessarily the benefits of the product you're pitching. Sometimes it's simply your enthusiasm, your knowledge, your passion. For examples of how confidence sells outside of the homesteading niche, I had a waitressing job at a 5-star restaurant when I had only 3 months of experience based on my confidence level. It started off with my friend making the manager come out and interview me, but when he sat there and talked to me and realized that even without much experience, I could handle myself well, speak well, and read customers in a way that's needed in those type of situations, he was sold, especially when he asked me to tell him about his personality, and I played the game to a T. I also got a job at a bank when I'd only ever waitressed before by describing a drink that I sold at my restaurant. I described it so well and with such enthusiasm, telling her how much other customers absolutely adored this drink, and she was like, okay, I need to go and get one right now. So one of the first things that you need to do before you try to start to sell any product is you need to learn to believe in yourself. Confidence is the key to everything. It might not seem it, but if you don't believe in yourself, nobody is going to believe in you. If you don't believe in your product, nobody is going to buy your product. If you're ready to take the leap and change your mindset and therefore the way you present yourself both to customers and in your personal life, I highly recommend you take the course in the link below. I've talked to Dave personally before. I've taken many of his courses and he is absolutely fantastic. His backstory is phenomenal as well. If you're ready to step out of your comfort zone and start making money with quail, I recommend that you join my quail community. There's a link at the top of my profile.